What's going on, everybody? So this is the championship game right here against none other than the bum Phantom Bitch Parker, as S.A. Sleepy calls him. That was actually hilarious when he messaged me that's his name, Phantom Bitch Parker. But yeah, that's besides the point, man. This is the championship game. If I win this one, I'm going to the Super Bowl. Apparently, S.A. Sleepy was upset by this guy, Phantom Parker. I don't know how that happened. S.A. Sleepy was actually, what was he, like 17-0 for the season? He's garbage. And then he got aired out like a dirty gym sock. Maybe he was 16-0 and then lost in the first round of the playoffs. He's garbage. But that's besides the point, man. We about to get up in this real quick. But we're gonna talk about the whole thing about just the way that, you know, music influences the way that females are today. And I'm just gonna use a very specific song. These hoes ain't loyal, no they ain't. Like I said, way back when with what was the guy's name? Donald Sterling, the owner, the previous owner of the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? When he got taken care of by his mistress or whatever like that, and she released the video, which I still don't think, like, he didn't say nigger and shit like that. He was doing a lot of prejudiced things as far as his real estate, but in that call itself, he just said he didn't want he didn't want her to bring the guys that she was fucking to the game, because obviously he ain't putting in work. So he just didn't want to see them at the games. Like, you can fuck whoever you want, bitch. Just don't bring them to the fucking games. That was pretty much what I got from it. It sparked outrage, etc., etc. We know what the rest happened. Okay, everything outside of that, like what he was doing on the streets and like not making his places be used for the rental purposes of African American Negroes and shit like that. That is why he should have been removed as an owner, for having his wife act like a fake landlord and seeing who was in the buildings. For those things, Donald Sterling should have been ousted, not for the phone call. That phone call was not too harsh, in my opinion, compared to what he could have said and the things that other people do say. But we're gonna go ahead and go back into this thing of the situation with the music, the way that it generates the way that the females are designed. Because if you're taught that, you know what I'm saying, being a side chick can get you a lot of things and you don't got to deal with a lot of other shit that comes with it, you know, being told that you're always a hoe, you know what I'm saying, what was that thing? I forgot what he was saying. It's just so many different references about what females do. And it's very hard to find a good female because of the way of the influential, the way music is so influential. So, you know, in saying that, you're gonna have a high majority of females dressing like a whore, acting like a whore, and doing things that whores do for the simple fact that that's all they hear, that's all we see. Like, I was listening to a song the other day, and all I hear on these songs nowadays is like dudes is just trying to fuck, eat people's ass, like, and it's being bleeped out, but the kids know what they're saying. Whatever happens to like a Barry White with a deep voice, like he's saying everything inappropriate, but nothing is being said that's inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just trying to turn the lights down low, like, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to set the mood. These motherfuckers trying to eat ass through a thong in the modern days right now, and you're teaching the you know, our females that, unfortunately, a lot of the females don't have father figures. You're teaching them to be instruments of you're teaching them to be instruments of objectivism. Like, they're just what, you know what I'm saying? They're objects. So when you do that and you make a person feel as if they have no other worth, that's going to happen. You're going to create more whores. You're going to create what these rappers are trying to display. And it all goes back to, you have to be a parent to your child, but let's be honest, social media and a lot of the other shit that kids watch is their actual parent. You know what I'm saying? You look back at The Cable Guy, that movie, that Jim Carrey movie from way back when, and you think about that. You know, sometimes music and movies raise your kids for you, even despite what you're trying to do. So the more of it that comes out, the more that they're gonna want to see what this life's about, and that's pretty much what's going on right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Chris Breezy just got rich and took a broke nigga's bitch. And listen, bro, you're gonna take a lot of broke niggas' bitches, but there's a lot of broke niggas that got females that understand what they're trying to do and stay by their side, and eventually they go on and do a lot of shit. You could, like, just look at it, at one point, all fucking 50 Cent was doing was being a stick-up, well, the original 50 Cent was a stick-up kid. 50 Cent was just a bully before he even got on with the whole Eminem and all the shit like that. But you go from doing that, just being a regular street hustler, to being what he is now. Puff Daddy, going from being a backup dancer to a mogul. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things as impossible as they seem, happen in the blink of an eye. But sometimes we have to understand that people's purpose is more than what, is more than what the actual life says it is. You can't want somebody that just wants to work for someone all the time and just wants to have, that steady thing, whatever like that. Sometimes you need an entrepreneur. But females is going after what's there, bro, because that's what they're taught to do. You know what I'm saying? The bling bling. Meanwhile, they're saying Lil Wayne is half broke. Like, we don't ever know what the fuck's going on. We don't know what's happening, but it's what you see. Like, everybody can tell you that every car that these rappers are using, they're rentals. But it doesn't matter because you still want to be in that motherfucking rental. Because you're taught that, yo, bro, that's what's up. That's where it's at. And if nobody is teaching you otherwise, what the fuck do you know as a young kid? You see these young kids nowadays, they walking around, they look like they fucking 21, they're like 12. Because there's no curbing. Nobody's curbing their children. Look at this dumb shit. The fucking guy fumbles right there. That fucked my whole game up. But nobody's curbing their children and making them understand that, listen, the kid, you're an adult a very long part of your life. So, with that being said, why are you in such a rush to be an adult? Your childhood is so short. Why are you rushing to do what adults do when the second fucking half of your life is so goddamn long that you're gonna want to off yourself and you can do whatever you want during that time? But instead, everybody is rushing to be old. So then you create an atmosphere where it's okay to dress like this. It's okay to do that. You know what I'm saying? Before, back in the day, when it was only okay for a female to dress like a whore during Halloween. Now it's like it's the in thing. You know what I'm saying? People are wearing shit that's showing their whole body, but it's not because it's fashion. Dudes are wearing skinny jeans and sagging them because it's fashion. Meanwhile, they need hip replacements at 26. But this is what's being taught. So, again, I ask you, if this is all they have, you know what I'm saying, as far as what they have to look to, it's very hard to not understand what the world is becoming. Because everybody is influenced by something. And for the most part, the masses are going to be influenced by the wrong thing. Whatever's popular, whatever the culture is, that's what the masses are going to be influenced by. So with that being said, what are we teaching our young females? They have no value anymore. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, just think about it. Even back in the day when it was a hoe that you was just trying to fuck, they still had value and they still had morals. Like, you had to fuck them. You know what I'm saying, bro? They were giving up the pussy, but you had to buy them dinner. You had to treat them right. You know what I'm saying? You had to open the door and shit. Now, dudes is kicking bitches out with Timberlands out the side after they get necked in the fucking passenger seat. Like, there's no type of anything, bro. Like, it's not about being a Captain Save-A-Hoe. There's rules to the game. And there's always gonna be people at opposite ends of the spectrum. But there has to be a cutoff. There has to be something that shows that people have value. And in doing so, there has to be hope that a female can get to that point to where they have value. But when you're taught that there is no value no matter what you do, that's a very hard thing to overcome. And it's probably going to go over a lot of people's heads, but that's a very difficult thing to overcome when you're taught that this is all that it is. You have to do this. You have to be submissive. It's very, very difficult for a female to grow. You can't if you're trying to water a plant to make it grow, but then you put a cylinder block on top of the plant after you water it, what the fuck are you trying to do? You're gonna still say you're trying to promote growth, but you're stifling it at the same time? That's pretty much what the world is doing to females now, because no matter what you do, you're a hoe. You could be doing the same thing a dude's doing, but you a hoe. You don't got no boyfriend, and you just having sex with dudes, you know what I'm saying? You just going to clubs, having fun, whatever. No relationship, but you a hoe. But a dude doing it, he's a player from the Himalayas. So if you're taught that, what can you do to change it? It has to start with the people parenting their kids and just a change in the cinematography and what is displayed. But we also have to understand that there's a reality and there's imagination. And everything else that goes on in this world is pretty much imagination. And we have to be able to distinguish the two. But as far as I see it right now, I seen the future and it's hopeless. Rest in peace, Tupac Shakur. One love.